Good morning all. Welcome to the first offline class in administrative law by Dr. K. Sangeeta. First we will see certain terminologies that is discussed in administrative law. Starting the word arbitrary. It means it is based on random choice or personal whim rather than any reason or system. So here the pre-concluded notion which leads to a decision making. Here it is not logically reasoned or it is not following the system. Here this word personal whims and fads is not illegally used because it is considered to be harsh. Next is policy decision. The first half of policy decisions are those that determine how we will act in future. Here we is to the people, and the second half of policy decision tells us how to make choices in order to act in alignment with our purposes and goals. Here the confusion starts because it is different to the citizens and employees. So here when a person is both a citizen and an employee, then there is the confusion to stand on the purposes and goals. So the policy decision is given by the person who is holding the power and who is having the power to make the decision, and when that is given, whether the purposes and goals is meted out as an individual citizen or a human or a person in society or a person employed in the company, state government or central government. So the purpose and goals differs for both the citizens and the employees, and that should be understood to avoid the confusion. Next is discretionary. It is formal and the right to ability to decide something for which he has the power to decide. So when you say formal, there is a procedure and it need to be followed, and the right or ability to decide on something. So he is given that power to make the decision. So he is having the decision making power. The next term is mandatory. It is required by law or mandate. So it is compulsory. The next is fair. Treating people equally without favoritism or discrimination. Favoritism, I like a person or I dislike a person. So if I like a person, I do some favor. If I dislike a person, I do not favor him at all. So when you say discrimination, it is by seeing the status of a person like rich or poor or higher caste or lower caste. So there is a complete discrimination. Next is just. Based on or behaving according to what is morally right and fair. So this word morally right, we can have a reference from jurisprudence. So for every moral right there is a moral duty. So usually when you say a moral right, there may not be a stringent punishment. Example, for in certain provisions in the fundamental duties of the Indian Constitution, when you disobey it, you have a punishment attached to it. There are certain places where such punishment may not be there, but still a moral duty may be attached. And this word fair, we have seen it earlier. The next word is good conscience. If one says that you cannot do something in all conscience or in good conscience, you mean that you cannot do it because you think it is wrong. So this is what they are meaning it here. There are three contexts in this: in all conscience or in good conscience or in conscience. All this means that you know that pretty well it is wrong. One is very clear that the act he is going to do is wrong. The usual question to understand is, do the government has the power to withdraw the act it has passed? This case law in Rai Sahib, Ramjavaya Kapoor and others was a state of Punjab in 1955. They have clearly said the point. When you see the power of the president or the power of the governor, which is usually said as the executive power to make law, Here Article 213 is the governor's ordinance making power. One clearly knows the ordinance is usually made during the situation of emergency and its validity is 6 months. And Article 123, the President's ordinance making power. Here it is very clear from the provision itself and it is easy to remember. This is Article 123 and if this 2 is interchanged, you get 213. So here this is the state ordinance making power and this is the central ordinance making power which is to be remembered. Thank you.